Hello, everybody, and welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Let's talk about the end of Marvel Comics, as everyone else is, because of the coronavirus.
You're saying this just came out?
Nah, this came out 17 years ago.
But I thought it was the end.
It is the end. Back in 2003 and other times. In fact, recently they resurrected the brand and sold like shit numbers because like everyone was like, what? Because back in 2003, Marvel was really coordinated and they were like, we're doing a thing. It's called The End. It's an idea where we're obviously not gonna tell the last story of Wolverine or the Hulk.
Right,
but like
we never will.
Because we never will.
They will always make money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I thought you did with Old Man Logan.
What?
That's actually not a The End imprint. That was just Mark Millar's pitch for doing Unforgiven with Wolverine in it. So like with The End, it was we're doing this imprint where it's like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if some of our most seminal writers who worked on the characters that they're known for wrote their last story? Because like obviously it's not their last story, but wouldn't it be fun if we played around with that idea? So look, Wolverine The End, Hulk The End, and all that. X-Men The End, they got Claremont to do like a 3-volume Lord of the Rings-esque sprawling epic. And ironically enough, wouldn't end. But of course, they asked Jim Starlin to do Marvel The End.
So like all of it.
What?
All of it, everything. And
Like the universe?
yeah.
Okay.
And what's funny is, you know, Starlin does what Starlin does and what Starlin wants. And regardless of what other people do with characters that Starlin either created, like Thanos, or enjoys, like Adam Warlock, then he'll just violate continuity to get it back to where he had them.
Right.
Like, there's literally an entire Infinity story arc where Thanos is curating these clones of himself that are hodgepodges of like Thanos and other Marvel characters. And some of them look and act just like him and do things in other people's stories that Jim Starlin wouldn't agree Thanos would do.
Oh my God.
It's like, no, it wasn't real Thanos.
That was not
There's a
Thanos.
clone.
Yep, but Thanos had a hand in making it, so
Right.
it's like tangentially Thanos. You can preserve that. You can have that. But I'm Jim Starlin, and I know what Thanos would do and say, and he would not do and say that. Okay?
Right. That's
Yeah, right
Thanos
bef-
adjacent.
Yeah.
Right before he lost the Infinity Gauntlet, just like, you know what I need? A whole lot of me's.
No, he didn't even do that. No, that was after the Infinity Gauntlet. That was
made
pacifist
them
Thanos.
by
That was
hand.
No, not by hand. I mean, he used hands on untold alien technology to make these Thanos clones.
right.
Is this still another masturbation joke?
No.
What?
What? Oh, hand. I
Oh,
see.
something about hands.
Yeah.
Right. Can't get one by you.
This is why you're still alive.
For now.
Jim Starlin is actually reacting with the Marvel End story to a Joe Quesada, then recently installed editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, mandate, which was, back in the day, Marvel had a mandate which was dead means dead. When people die in the Marvel Universe, they stay dead. We don't do these silly-ass resurrections and crap. If you kill somebody, you better have a damn good reason, and they're going to stay in the ground.
Right.
And that actually spawned the Clone Saga, so you can blame Stan Lee for the Clone Saga, because they were like, well, we can't just bring Gwen back to life. We have to like explain it through science and stuff, or fake science, as Ethan would point out. Dead meant dead. Then everyone came back to life. Like constantly. It was a revolving door of the afterlife. And so when Quesada came in, he's like, I'm going to make a proclamation that I'll immediately violate and can't possibly uphold, which is dead means dead again in the Marvel Universe. And Starlin's like, ooh, that gives me an idea. So he wrote this as a kind of way to reinforce Quesada's boneheaded proclamation that dead means dead in the Marvel Universe. So Marvel The End is actually technically in continuity, but it is immediately retconned out by Jim Starlin in another Thanos story right after this, and in subsequent stories afterwards. I'll do the whole, oh my God, reveal at the end of it.
Okay.
Okay, for now, think of it as an imprint. Like, this is how Jim Starlin would end the Marvel Universe.
Right.
Right? That's the conceit.
So what if?
Because that's what the conceit of the End.
Right. They were never supposed to be in continuity.
No!
What if it was always going to end? It always has to at some point, like the universe has to continue.
Right, but here's the end of it. And that's the thing, is I liked the synergy that Marvel had in like 2003, where there was no confusion about what that was. Except at Jim Starlin's house.
Right. but what if it's like a thing?
Yeah, but and that's the thing is that I have a great respect for him, not only for the contributions he's made, but also for his attempt with this, where he's like, let me take your cool imprint and then let me make it matter.
Oh no, the whole point is it doesn't matter.
But it's like, but
his
his
imprint
itself is
you
just
can
supposed
do
to
anything
matter.
because it doesn't matter.
Right. Well, no. I am Jim Starlin. I am unrestrained. I will do whatever I want, and in
But
fact,
it will
have
also
before.
matter.
But also, it'll matter to other people, not just me.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you realize this, but the word star is in my name. I think I know what I'm doing. Sunglasses.
Because he is a star.
Yeah.
He's a rock star.
He's a rock star comic book creator.
He's flipping over tables. He's
that.
like kicking shit out of the way.
Yeah, he's playing Piano Man. He's awesome. Well, you know, the story opens with Thanos talking to seemingly the reader. He's not. But it looks like he is, because when you turn the page, he's like looking at you, and he's talking about how he screwed everything up. He's like, you missed it. All of reality is come to an end. And you're like, oh my God, Starlin, you're already starting at an 11. Because everything is always like the most unlimited power, and about how everything's going to be destroyed, how like all the heroes are stupid assholes, but how the most important people in the universe are Thanos and Adam Warlock.
And like, so what if the universe ends?
What?
Well, for
everyone
Thanos,
dies-
doesn't he want everyone to die?
No,
So-
he dropped the whole nihilism thing.
The nihilism thing I get, but like, if everyone dies, fine. You're still going to be with death,
No,
right?
the death
No,
thing
he's
is
all
also
different.
softened a little bit, like where he's, you know, he knows it's futile and he knows that it's like a fool's errand. So, you know, he tried to fill
what
his
does he
life's
want
pursuit.
now?
Well, right now he wants to have undone it. He wishes that he was not responsible for the end of everything that ever was or ever will be.
Oh.
And he's
Are we gonna go
lamenting,
back?
We're gonna go back. We gotta go back.
Pauses it, and then it just goes, I was wrong.
Yeah, oops. Well, it was. They'll explain why everything is over.
So this is a learning point for Thanos. You're saying that after this, he hangs up his helmet and his gauntlets, and like he's done, and
So
he'll
to
never be a
speak.
bad guy again.
So to speak. He's already there. That's 2 Infinity events already.
Yeah, I was gonna say
over
at this
ago.
point he already wasn't.
Yeah.
Like.
No, he had already
super bad
lamented and
guy.
recanted. He'd
Yeah.
already become a kind of like force in the universe that just like floats around in a satellite and analyzes great power and wants it.
Yeah,
But doesn't
is
take
also
it.
an asshole.
Yeah, he's a dick, but that's like who he is. You know?
Yeah. But he doesn't seem to. He seems aimless.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may say that he kind of one up himself with the Infinity Gauntlet thing.
Yeah, maybe
You know?
he shouldn't have started with becoming the most powerful being in the,
Yeah,
in the
in the
universe.
cosmos. But
Being
you know,
omnipotent and
well,
omniscient.
Yeah.
well, that's the thing. Well, he'll explain why what happens to him in this is way more awesome than the Infinity Gauntlet.
Sure.
So, but yeah. So we didn't need to go back, and Thanos admits that, and he says, "We got to go back. We got to go back to the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt."
Oh, of
course.
course, my favorite dynasty.
Naturally,
Where it all started.
That is kind of where it all started. You got Akhenaten, who is a Egyptian pharaoh about whom we don't have a lot of data.
Oh, so there's plenty of room to fill in the blanks.
Big time. Oh, we fill in some blanks all right with who Akhenaten.
Oh my freaking
Who
god.
Akhenaten turns out to be.
Nice.
But yeah, we start out with the 18th century. I think Akhenaten also is like the father of Tutankhamun or something like that. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to say Akhenaten.
Akhenaten? I've been saying Akhenaten. I don't care.
I got to say, the art in this is friggin' awesome.
Oh, well, I should mention that it is written and drawn by Jim Starlin.
Oh, yeah?
So
Yeah.
Jim Starlin draws good stuff.
That's right, yeah. The inks are by Al Milgram, which is, you know, great. Yeah, and Starlin really swings for the fences in this series.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, Akhenaten, or whatever you want to say, is he's a dick because he's an Egyptian ruler.
Right, he doesn't care about people.
You know, slaves and pyramids built by slaves, and you know, is this despot? I mean, but back then, by basis of comparison, how would you really know?
Right, weren't they all despots?
Exactly. You know, he's a cruel ruler
No.
of ancient Egypt, and one day he wandered out into the desert, and he was visited by aliens and disappeared. And that's why we don't have any data on Akhenaten after a certain point.
Oh, my God.
You know, like they checked the sarcophagus and it's empty, and
Why would they even build a sarcophagus for him if he...
because he was presumed dead.
It's a cover-up.
Oh,
right.
I
It was
see.
it's an ancient Egyptian cover-up. Now, the idea here is that, like, apparently Jim Starlin must have taken some kind of, like, ancient Egyptian class while he was working on this, because, like, why would you do this?
There's a lot of detail in there.
No, he just watched Stargate.
Even then, Stargate was passe. It was 2003. By then, if you made a Stargate joke, they'd still go, you mean that crappy show? Or that amazing show?
Yeah, depending on who you ask.
When I went to college, I was roommates with people who had the whole show prominently displayed on top of their television. You know, for easy access, so they could pull any episode of Stargate SG-1 and watch it. And then later Stargate Atlantis.
Right.
Anyway, so he gets kidnapped by aliens, and Jim Starlin admits that like there are a lot of theories as to what happened to him that are probably real, and then there's the real fake one, which is that aliens took him. Meanwhile, at the X-Mansion, Jean Grey is hit by a psychic vision, and she's reminded of a villain that she fought back in the day with the X-Men called the Living Pharaoh.
Oh.
The Living Pharaoh is not Akhenaten, nor is he related to this in any way, but he is an ancient pharaoh villain that the X-Men have fought, and he kind of reminds them of that. And in other reports of this story, people will refer to Akhenaten as the Living Pharaoh, but don't get them confused, because there is another Living Pharaoh, and he has nothing to do with Akhenaten.
Oh my God.
That Akhenaten is actually a made-up character. You know, he's a real character, but Jim Starlin appropriates him into a made-up character for this story.
Okay.
So, when Jean just has a thought, is she saying she's getting a psychic vision? Like, oh, I gotta remember I have to pick up my laundry.
I have a psychic vision. I can take a massive dump. Like,
I don't know if it's a psychic vision versus just a regular vision.
Well, I mean, because her powers are psychic-based, so the vision would be from anywhere.
Right.
But anyway, she's talking to Beast about it, and Beast is like, well, chill out. And then Professor X is like, did you get the same vision of Akhenaten? And she's like, yeah, I did. And they're like, oh, crap. What are we going to do about this? We should call our friends, the other superheroes.
Professor X, why are you wearing a Dune costume?
Because Grant Morrison is writing the X-Men at this point, and Frank Quitely's drawing them, and so Jim Starlin is using the new X-Men designs from that run.
That explains Beast.
Yeah, Beast looks like a cat.
He's Cat Beast, yeah.
Yeah, he is straight up like the Beast.
And he's got like werewolf feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's unfortunate, but you know,
what are you gonna do?
It's an acquired taste, and it's a moment in time.
Yeah.
You say an acquired taste like
people like that. People liked their
people
designs.
like Cat Beast.
People like Cat Beast. People like Wolverine. Like they all have these weird like synergistic costumes where like they all have like tubing, but Wolverine refuses to wear a shirt, but he still has a leather jacket. So it's just bare-chested Wolverine in leather jacket. Like that was his X-Men costume. Like people like these suits. I don't, but whatever.
Right. I guess if you started reading X-Men and they were wearing this, that's what they look like for
yes,
you.
Exactly. And it's supposed to make you think, whoa, this is happening right now.
Right.
17 years ago.
Right.
So, meanwhile, in the space between universes and whatnot, Atleza, a small child and the usurper of the previous guardian of said omniverse, is sitting around watching and guarding the cosmos, along with her babysitters, Adam Warlock and Gamora. This is set up via a previous Jim Starlin Infinity event, which I'm not going to get into. The point is, she's here. That's it. There's like a little interdimensional place where a small child is supposed to bear witness to and control the universe. Not control it, but more like guard it.
Right.
And Atleza is the name of the small child who does so.
And she's wearing a romper.
Yeah, she's a little girl.
She's a little girl.
Right, but like you're in space. Wear space clothes.
No, it's weird because like you'd expect her to be wearing space clothes, but she's just wearing normal clothes.
Also because like, you know, Jim Starlin actually does a good job of drawing a child, but some artists who draw comics can't really draw a child versus a small adult.
Yeah.
So if you put her in the romper, there's no mistaking it's a child. You're supposed to get the image that a child is kind of guarding the universe, and that's kind of crazy.
Right, it's
and
not like a weird alien who's small. It's a literal
it's a little
human
girl
child.
from Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but it's just bizarre to see a girl in this giant chair
Right?
watching the universe.
That's
Isn't it
right.
weird
It's
looking?
supposed to make you think that.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You're on board. But Warlock and Gamora are there, and they're like, whoa, what's going on at Atleza? And she says, everything's about to change.
See?
Oh, why don't
She
you
knows
stop
what's
it?
going on.
You're supposed
She
to
can-
guard the cosmos.
All she, you know, she's not a watcher, but she, you know, she's not really effective. Anyway, so then Thor, who is currently at this point in time in charge of Asgard, is at his balcony. Thor gets a vision of unspeakable power that's that's careening towards Midgard, and it faces him and says, "I'm coming for everything. I'm taking back what's mine." And Thor's like, "Whoa, that is such power.
Why did he stop here and talk to me?"
Well, because Thor is
important.
Thor kind of has the Odin Force right now, and so he is pretty powerful.
Also, looks like he has the current WWE title.
No, that's Conan's belt.
It's a pretty dope belt. It plays no part in this story, but yeah. So Thor is like Thor is there to show you, oh my God, this new power in the universe is way stronger than the Odin Force.
Oh.
It may be even stronger than like any force that Jim Starlin has previously created.
Wow, that's pretty strong.
Meanwhile, in space, the Shi'ar Empire has been decimated. It's just completely wrecked. Silver Surfer's flying through it clandestinely, and he's like, whoa, the whole Shi'ar Empire has been decimated. What kind of power could have possibly destroyed the Shi'ar Empire? Whoa, a survivor, it's Gladiator, because he's made of tougher stuff. And he's like, whoa, Gladiator, what's going on? He's like, dude, something came through here and wrecked us.
It was so powerful!
I am vocally confirming what you have already surmised, that something super powerful has wrecked everything.
Right.
So Thanos is like, by now you're wondering, what does this have to do with me? Well, let me tell you. And so then he segues into himself back then, which is to say in the present, in his satellite, kind of just coping with being but a cog in the grand scheme of the universe, now that he has taken his, quest for power and conquest
off the table.
Okay. But he is still technically looking for it.
Like, man, what am I doing with my life?
Maybe what he's doing is essentially just saying, like, look, I know that conquest and ruling the universe is a bad idea, so I'm going to look at all the powerful things out there, make sure no one else goes after them.
That's exactly what he does.
Yeah.
And in fact, you never have to wonder what Thanos is thinking, because Jim Starlin is more than happy to tell you directly.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
he'll just monologue.
Yeah.
Everyone does that. So the Fantastic Four are monitoring this. They feel some great power in the universe. They're like, oh crap. They call the Avengers. The Avengers are like, we saw it too. And the X-Men have a meeting where they call everybody. They call, because of Xavier and Jean Grey's psychic vision, they're like, let's call in everybody. Oh, the reserves. Call in every single X-Man you could ever imagine that is alive right now into the mansion at once. And so they all appear. And then Jean and Chuck go, everybody stay in the living room. We're going to go into Cerebra, and we're going to try and contact this thing that reached out to us and see what's up.
Okay.
So they do. And
maybe Jean's not the best choice for that.
right, because
Phoenix
what if
Force
it's
and
a
all
Phoenix
that.
and everything? Starlight makes no reference to the Phoenix at all, so I'm shocked that there isn't a concern about it. But the other thing is, we've only got 6 issues. We don't have time to worry about that.
Yeah, we can't get that'll be another entire issue if we bring the Phoenix.
Precisely. So Jean is basically there to just kind of help support Xavier.
Right. He's got to try harder than he's ever tried before.
Jean, I need to borrow some of your brain power.
Yeah, he needs their combined power.
Yeah.
To make it work.
Mm-hmm. And they do, and they
But
reach
he
out.
won't ask Emma Frost.
No,
Nah.
she's in the living room with everybody else.
No, she doesn't get to use Cerebro.
Not yet.
Yeah.
So they do reach out past the known universe, and they find Akhenaten.
Oh.
He is now the ultimate power in the universe, and he's coming for Earth. And he's like, hello, you're my subjects. Technically, I was the ruler of Earth in the 18th dynasty, and I'm coming back.
You were the ruler of Egypt.
Yeah, but as far
There's
as
a
we
lot
were
of
concerned,
other Earth.
It was
As far as
Earth.
I was concerned, I ruled everything.
Right.
Basically, yes. And so I'm coming back to take my rightful place, and you're one of my subjects. And I can tell from your thoughts that you don't like that idea. So, and then Chuck and Jean disconnect from Cerebro, and they're like, oh, shit! And Akhenaten drops a powerful beam and blows up all the X-Men, so Starlin doesn't have to write about them anymore.
Oh. So this is also X-Men in the end.
Yeah, for the price of one.
Well, thank God we grabbed all the mutants and told them to converge here.
Yeah.
That way, we don't... If you're going to question what my story is by saying, what about so-and-so? Well, he died in the mansion on page 4 of a 6-issue miniseries about how we're going to end the Marvel Universe.
Right.
So...
Jeez. Okay.
Thanos is like, woof. That was rough, but here's some more. Because Dr. Doom was monitoring it. And, the news was like, apparently all the X-Men died.
Yeah.
not so bad, I guess, because I'm kind of an asshole. And Doom's like, fools! You know, it wasn't the mutants themselves that destroyed themselves, nor was it some anti-mutant bigot like the news reporter.
Right.
It was something else, and something that could possibly help Doom in his conquest for power as well.
Yeah?
Of course, it's always going to help Doom.
Yeah. Doom, you're just a friggin' guy. I
Yeah.
don't know what makes you think.
Yeah, because Doom's ego is...
Yeah.
If you said that to him, he would vaporize
Yeah, he
it.
would kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, comparatively, he is but a god. You know, you are just a lonely man.
But this is like his god that he's dealing with now.
He doesn't even know that yet.
Yeah, but Doom doesn't recognize any god but himself.
Right.
His
Plus, he's
ego
always
knows
pretty
no
sure
bounds.
he can, like, usurp whatever power they have
I could
for
probably
himself.
figure it out.
You probably could, yeah. If you're Doom. Anyway, so meanwhile in Egypt, some dudes are kind of like just walking by, and then suddenly a giant pyramid arrives and crushes them.
Oh. From the sky?
Yeah.
So it is like Stargate.
No, it's nothing like Stargate. Because it's just
There's a
grand
pyramid spaceship comes out of the sky.
No, it's not a spaceship. It's just a giant pyramid that Akhenaten wants to live in when he arrives.
So he plops it
He
down.
just drops it where it used to be, but like bigger and more awesome. And full
Whoa,
of untold
whoa,
technology.
whoa, where it used to be?
Yeah, like where his capital city used to be.
Oh.
Of Akhenaten.
He took a pyramid with him when he left?
No.
No, he
Now,
made it in space.
When he left, he was just a dude. But now that he's back from his
I see.
period out in space, he's the most powerful being on Earth.
Right.
Or in
ever.
the cosmos, yeah.
So it's a brand new pyramid, but
it's a
in
new
his
pyramid.
old hometown.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the style of, his sensibility.
But luckily,
Right.
it's on top of his hometown because it was all buried under sand anyway.
yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah.
It's not like he resurrects it or anything, because even then it would pale in comparison to the plans and scope that he has now, that he is like God.
Yeah.
So Bush,
Well, there'd
Cheney,
be all these like farmers with like
They're dead.
ancient technology and stuff, like plowing fields.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
They'd be looking around like, this is really crappy.
yeah, we
What-
would nuke them, and then that would be the end.
Yeah,
of it.
I don't want that.
No.
Remember how in Egypt, like, you have to be by water or
Yeah.
a river or an oasis or something to really thrive? Why would he not drop the pyramid somewhere a little bit more habitable?
Because he doesn't care. Remember, he can make anything, he can do anything. He's super powerful.
But like, hey,
Doesn't
look,
matter.
the rainforest, bam.
Yeah.
Plants, animals, anything I
he
can
didn't
eat.
live there.
He didn't live there.
Nor did he ever come back to visit, so he doesn't even know about those parts of Earth.
Let's just say he's nostalgic. So, meanwhile, Bush, Cheney, Condoleezza Rice, and Colin Powell are in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
And it's not like a joke or
Right.
it's like Corlin parallel or any like like they're
No, this is the president.
the president. It's happening right now, and they're like,
Let's see what he would do.
yeah, let's see what he would do. And what he would do is he gets kidnapped by Akhenaten along with all the other world leaders on Earth.
okay.
And they all convene in the new capital city that he dropped on Egypt.
I love that he's eating a bag of super pretzels.
Yes, because he says like it's hard to open, and it's making a joke about how
Yeah.
he choked on one. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Remember that from 17 years ago? So, in his new capital city, every world leader everywhere.
All good,
Just
and we
like,
can
what is
see
the meaning
them
of
and
this?
name them.
Yeah, you
Oh,
got
and Mole Man.
and Mole Man and Namor and Doom.
So it's
They
not
are
just
world
leader.
leaders.
Well, I guess
No,
they are
they're all leaders of their respective countries and realms.
I see. I didn't know Mole Man was literally a leader of the underground
No,
realm.
it's Monster Island.
Oh, monster. Oh.
So they're all there, and they're all like, "What the hell?" And of course, some of these leaders are blaming each other.
Yeah.
some
Hey,
of them
Black
are like,
Panther was there.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
and then and Thanos explains through narration that Akhenaten wanted to announce his plan for everything, but he didn't want to repeat himself. So he put all the world leaders in one place and then broadcast what he was about to do on every TV in every language across the world.
So he really had to grab all the world leaders, of course.
Well, he just wanted to show and explain to them that, like, so you're going to disseminate my word and I'm going to rule. Like, I'm in charge.
Right.
The Pharaoh's coming back, right? And I'm in charge of the world, but I don't want to deal with, like, countries and municipalities. Those people can do that as long as they disseminate my rule
Right. So it's like a shortcut to getting everyone
on board.
on board with him. He's like, well, they're on board with you, so
Yeah.
I'll get you on board with me, and then vicariously they're on board with
Exactly.
me.
Because he says...
Makes sense.
I've
It's
been
like a
monitoring
pyramid
you.
scheme.
That may be the cleverest thing you've ever
Yeah.
said.
I'm your upline.
It is a literal pyramid scheme. So he's like, yo.
I'm out.
Yeah,
I'll
right?
see you guys later.
So he goes, the world sucks, you're terrible, but maybe with my leadership and my like very, very small list of commandments, which is to say the commandment is I'm in charge and whatever I say goes, you'll be able to get it right. So
Okay.
get out. And then he makes everybody disappear.
Okay.
So
that
then
could have gone worse.
it could have gone worse.
I thought he was going to slaughter them all
Right,
or
yeah,
something.
or get big dog monsters to eat them or something.
Yeah.
No, but Doom was like, good thing that Akhenaten's a dumbass and kidnapped me and made me go there. I'm offended he did it, but I'm also glad of the opportunity because I was able to drop a small micro camera that was able to go into his city, and I can glean more information about this character so I can take his power.
Okay.
So the Avengers all call in everybody.
Yeah.
They're like, everybody show up, everybody, we're all hands on deck. We got to figure out this problem.
Do you not recall what happened to the X-Men?
They didn't hear it. The X-Men didn't call anybody, right? So
Right.
like,
They were
missed it.
dead, but at the same time, they were all dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all dead. This guy showed up around the same time.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he killed them.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this. So
You're telling me they weren't able to tell that it was a blast from space. Reed Richards did not notice
no,
that.
Reed Richards actually coordinates the entire get-together. So the Avengers and the Fantastic Four all team up. They go to Avengers Mansion. They all like figure it out. So they're all there, and they're all cool drawings.
Yeah.
And then Akhenaten shows up, and he's like, okay, everybody. I know you're here to threaten me, but don't, because I'm in charge. So you could be my police force, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is like, no. So he tries to punch him, and Akhenaten's like, he probably speaks for all of you, and then blinks, and they're all gone. And they're all dead.
Yeah.
They're all dead?
They're all dead.
This book is not about
These guys, Avengers,
or
the
the
end.
X-Men.
Fantastic Four, the end. Now, before you wonder, like, how do you know that they're dead? Well,
Who says it?
Spider-Man and Daredevil swing by in New York, and they convene, and Daredevil asks Spider-Man to explain what these giant cross images are that are strewn about his city. And Spider-Man's like, oh, I forget you're blind and you can't see what's in these crosses. Akhenaten made giant plexiglass crosses, and he filled them with the bodies of every member of the Avengers and Fantastic Four and displayed them for the citizens of New York and I guess the world to see his power and his wrath.
Oh.
And so they're like, whoa.
Well, there's a little concern for Doom.
That's, yeah, Doom continues to not drink anything out of his goblet.
Well, he
And,
can't. How's he going to get it in his mouth?
Yeah. So,
He needs a little straw.
so Silver Surfer,
There we go.
he is, heading towards Earth because he knows that the power that he saw destroy the Shi'ar Empire is heading towards Earth, so he stops.
It's already there, man.
He's slower than God.
Yeah.
So he's on his way, but then he gets portaled into Thanos' satellite, and he's like, Thanos, boo, you suck. And Thanos is like, shut up, some of your friends are here. And it's the Defenders. It's Doctor Strange, it's Namor, it's Hulk.
Okay.
Silver Surfer's a member of the Defenders as well, or at least the Defenders that Star-Lord remembers, and Captain Marvel for good measure.
Oh.
So they're all there, and Silver Surfer's like, oh, well, they're not all punching Thanos, so I guess I'll chill out for a half second before I punch Thanos.
Right. Oh, we're not punching Thanos right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So Thor is gonna come up with a plan to deal with this power,
Yeah.
and so Zeus meets up with Thor, and he's like, yo, what's going on?
The God of
Zeus?
Thunder meets the God of Thunder?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Where
their
does Zeus
respective-
live in this?
Olympus.
And Olympus is...
In Greece, but in a metaphysical plane.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's similar power level to Thor?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, Thor with the Odin Force.
right, right.
Because right now, Thor's
He would
in
have been
charge.
similar to Odin.
He would have been, Zeus and Odin would have been
Yeah,
equals,
okay.
yeah. So they're like, whew, we better convene all of the gods from our
No!
respective...
No, don't do that!
We have two examples
Oh,
why
you're
you should
sensing a
not be
pattern?
doing
Everyone
this.
stop convening!
So meanwhile, all the other...
This is the perfect book for right now during the coronavirus.
Don't convene!
Don't convene!
We need to have social distancing. Everyone needs it. So all of the elders of the universe, eternity, the lords of chaos and order, Infinity, they're all convened as well, and they're like, whoo,
Damn it.
this is a power that even threatens our existence. It is so powerful. And Thanos is like, what fools. But little do they know what great terror and whatever, it sucks. So then, you know,
I am really annoyed by this Thanos espousing at us
you don't like
throughout
it?
the entire time.
He's not talking to you, remember. He is
he's
technically talking to us, but he's not really. It's actual dialogue between another character. So
Really? Because the other person isn't saying shit.
no, well, he's just listening to Thanos. He's getting caught up because this guy missed everything. So Zeus and Thor call all the gods. Doom, meanwhile, is just watching the camera, the spy cam he's got in Akhenaten, and he finds that the great living Pharaoh has collected all the time travelers. They're all trapped in a thing.
A bubble thing.
A bubble thing. And he's like, ooh, even I'm in there because I have access to a time machine. This means I'd better hurry up with my schemes because if I don't, I might end up in that bubble. And it's like, no,
You're already in the bubble.
You're already in the bubble. You already fuck up and go in the bubble, man. But he doesn't, so it's just...
Which version of him is it then?
It's a version of him that doesn't act as quick, that doesn't see the bubble. I don't know.
That can't work.
That's okay.
Yeah, so he's like, whew. But this also takes off the table any time travelers.
Right.
Except
They're
for
already
Doom.
in a bubble.
Yeah. And maybe because
But they're time travelers. It's only one version of them.
Right.
Yeah, it's the version of them that got trapped in the bubble, which if Doom doesn't get trapped in the bubble, clearly they don't have to get trapped in the bubble either.
Right.
Right.
Or maybe they're not trapped in the bubble yet. So then Doom calls all the time travel. No. They all go
Hey,
to one
all
room.
right, look at this bubble. You don't want to end up in there, right?
Yeah, so they all go into one room, and then, believe me. So Doom's like, whew, good call, Akhenaten. Way to be an dumbass. So then he's using his spy cam, and then he goes, wait, what is that? Enhance. And he sees
Damn it, Pharaoh.
another spy camera that's looking at him. And he's like, oh, someone else is looking around. And Thanos goes, Doom's discovered my spy camera. So Thanos is like, all right, team, we got to go fight this guy.
Team.
Who, Doom or that guy?
No, Akhenaten.
Okay.
But Thanos has, you see, Doom's plan is, I want to take Akhenaten's power.
Right.
And Thanos is like, we got to deal with this guy. We need to know about where he comes from, how he gets this power. We got to think smarter
Yeah.
than Doom.
This is what I do. I find sources of power.
Yeah, that's right. And then
I
usually
figure them
take
out. Yeah.
So then all the gods meet up,
Right. They're still meeting up.
including Lord Horus of ancient Egypt, who was late to the party.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're all there.
Are they all upset with him?
Kinda.
Hey, why didn't you warn us about this guy?
Literally, he says, I had a delay. Read nothing into it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
So they all use their god power to try and, I don't know, pool their powers to stop him. That seemingly is what
they're
their
gonna
plan
summon
is.
Captain Planet.
Right, the Captain God. So Doom is like, okay, so Doom discovers that Akhenaten killed Reed Richards without his say-so. And he's like, boo, I was supposed to kill Reed Richards. Damn it! Now it's personal. So while he's...
To hell with the Earth.
Yeah. So now he's like, he's looking around, and he finds a hieroglyph that explains the story of Akhenaten through hieroglyphs, so it's not like very specific.
Right.
But it says, he went into a pod and then he became this guy. And it's like, wait a minute, like that could be what the Egyptians thought, but the reality is it was aliens and stuff. Like he knows that.
Right.
So he went into a pod, sort of like a sarcophagus.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Stargate.
Yeah, but there's no portal and there's no aliens except for the ones that made Akhenaten into a super god, of which there are none in Stargate.
Yeah.
True.
It's only
Alien
Stargate in
converts
that
him.
it's a boring story that uses ancient Egypt as its backdrop. That's the only connection. So Doom is like, okay. So Doom translates the hieroglyphs, and his plan is he's going to go back in time to before Akhenaten gets the power, kill him, and then be abducted by the aliens, and then take the power.
Oh.
Which is actually
That's
a really
not
solid
a terrible
plan.
plan.
Meanwhile, in his city, by himself, he's torturing Hornemheb, who is the person who killed his son Tutankhamun. He's getting revenge.
Oh.
Akhenaten's a very petty person,
Okay.
or god. So he plucked Hornum from the afterlife and put him into a tube to torture him. And then he unmakes him so that he can't go back to the afterlife. He just doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
It's just a...
So why doesn't he grab his son from the afterlife and be like, let's hang out?
He doesn't. Because he's...
Well, that would be ghoulish.
Right.
Dead means dead, Ben.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
So Akhenaten then, after he unmakes Hornum, he then monologues his entire origin story.
Oh.
About, like, who he was, what he did, when the aliens came, what time of day it was, where he went when the aliens arrived, and then was taken. And Doom's like, good thing he talks to himself. Now
Otherwise,
I
I would never know.
I even know the time of day he was kidnapped.
It's perfect for my plan.
Awesome.
And the location, it's the Valley of the Kings. I know where that is.
And Akhenaten's like, and I'm also a little deaf in my left ear, so if someone were to sneak up on me from the left, I would never know.
It practically is that. But then, you know, it took Akhenaten a long time to adjust to the fact that he's on a spaceship, and then he met the aliens and thought they were gods, but he was an idiot, and, you know, then he I don't know, like, he was held in stasis, or he was trapped in whatever. Basically, they infused him with this newfound power.
Why?
Because
he has an earthly body and it's easy to repair?
No, it's because they gave him the power because they saw his divine right to rule. Like, they were like, oh, the universe needs rulers. You are the best example of being a ruler according to our, like, messed up judgment. And so if we gave you a portion of this god power, you would be able to effectively rule the universe.
I love that they're like, well, we have all this power, but we need a ruler. Let's grab that guy instead of, we have more power to rule than anyone. Why not one of us?
Yeah, right?
Well, we're not rulers.
Yeah, we're not like
we're a different
natural-born rulers.
Right.
We just have this power that was never mentioned before or afterwards.
And it took him like 10,000 years to do this?
Well, it took him 2,000 years just to acclimate himself to his surroundings.
Oh.
And then it took another, like, 8,000 years to put it all together. Yes.
Okay.
Well, because, like, he just had a human mind, and the human mind can't possibly rationalize or understand everything he was going through and the power that he possessed and all that crap. So, like, it took him 10,000 years to acclimate to being a god, after which he became a douchebag god.
That's funny
Right.
because, you know, Thanos became a god in an instant. He knew everything.
Well, Thanos has safeguards in place on his person and in his mind that he developed because he's a mad titan to protect himself from those such trappings.
Right. He
In
was
fact-
inherently biologically more capable of wielding that power than some guy.
Yeah, and this is just some guy. So anyway, he's like, anyway, then he goes, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And Horem, I know you're listening in, so ha-ha! And then he shows up at the Congregation of Gods and, like,
Eat it, Horus.
and he's gonna kill all of them.
Yeah.
And Zeus goes, I know when to bail! And he grabs Thor and he jumps through a portal and everyone else dies.
Lightning Bros?
Lightning Bros. Kaboom!
What?
So they get out of here.
The other gods die, and they leave behind skeletons.
Yeah, because they're
The
physical
gods
beings.
are just dudes with skeletons.
Well, they have to have a physical body, otherwise how would they bang their subjects?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I love that Horus has a bird head with a bird skull in the beak.
He's the only one who's not, like, basically a human underneath.
Yes. But only technically from the neck up.
Yeah.
So then Doom is like, nice. Well,
Cool.
let
There's
your
someone to stop
monologue-
me now.
Yeah, let your monologuing be your undoing there, Akhenaten. So
Who, do they explain who these aliens are, or what? Like,
they're old. They have access to this power. They didn't look like they do now because they've been around for so long. No.
do they place them in like the hierarchy of like
celestials?
Celestials and crap?
No.
Are the Celestials part of this?
No.
Do they say where they came from?
No.
How do they have...
They were all the way over there. So Doom activates his time machine. He's like, okay, no time to lose. Meanwhile,
What are you talking about? I've got all the time to lose. I got a time machine.
well,
I'll
no,
just go back 15 minutes.
because he knows that he's in
Yeah.
amber somewhere.
I'm gonna
so so all the nukes and weapons that the humanity could use against Akhenaten have been destroyed, and so Akhenaten calls Bush in his head, and he's like, "Hey, what are you bitching about?" And Bush is like, "Well, how are we going to be able to keep order and stuff?" And Akhenaten goes, "Well, because you work for me.
Right.
So just tell them you work for me."
He's not very smart.
No. So
You understand? I have you to disseminate the information to the people. If you're
Right.
not going to disseminate the information, why do I even have you?
yeah, well, and Bush is like, "Well, how are
Are
we
you
going to?"
saying you don't know how to lead?
Right, well,
You're saying
Bush is
you're
like-
like some kind of idiot?
Well, no,
Like, why
but-
would they put you in charge?
Bush's whole point is like, he goes, "Well, we only are leaders because we could threaten our citizens."
Also, my daddy was a leader.
Yeah, and
Right,
and
you
Akhenaten-
neutered us. Why would I would follow
But
us?
Akhenaten goes, no, that's okay because the Avengers wouldn't become my Pharaoh police, but the villains did, and they're the ones who are protecting and keeping everything in order. And then they reveal like the Wrecking Crew and Claw have now been outfitted with cool Egyptian colors and weaponry, and they're fighting
God.
the remainder of the hero community.
Okay. What are they fighting about?
They're fighting against the rule of law that is Akhenaten's cruel tyranny.
I see.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man sees this dude from the Wrecking Crew with a big magical ball, and he's like, "Hey, you shouldn't have that.
Well,
I'm gonna punch you
no,
in the
No,
face."
the ball is not the...
Like what? How
No,
does
well,
this
it's
part-
golden.
fight start?
No, that doesn't matter. Well, because
This image is just symbolic of the conflict between them. It's
Yes.
not an actual
It's
fight.
like- literally
I already,
happens, though.
I already have police. I just took your villains and made them
Right.
police.
yeah, and okay, the superhuman community is full of dumbasses, according to Jim
Not
Starlin.
anymore. They're all dead except for like 4 of them.
You'll see. But like but every time that like villains get power, the heroes are like, you shouldn't have it because you're not trustworthy enough to
Right.
wield it. And so, Akhenaten shows up and he's like, "Fuck you, I'm in charge." The heroes are going to fight it, whether they're, using the current guard of governance as duly appointed representatives of his rule or not, So like, the Wrecking Crew are bad guys. Akhenaten's making them his puppets. They're going to fight those guys.
Yeah.
Because
to get
Akhenaten's
to
rule,
Akhenaten.
they gotta stop him. Even though the Avengers and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four were all
Yeah.
annihilated in an
Well,
instant.
I think you need to like go underground
Yeah.
and like plan
right,
something.
but like, what would the plan even entail? We gotta strike now because even if we had a year to plan, it still is the guy's God. What are you gonna do?
I do like the fact that it's Black Cat, Black Widow, Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Hawkeye. Just like, we don't have many powerful people.
Well, they weren't
Yeah.
invited to the Avengers meeting,
Right.
And Hawkeye, I guess, just was late.
Well, now he's dead.
And now he's dead. So Thanos is like, we gotta find the power that made Akhenaten.
Yeah.
And find out where it came from and everything. And Surfer is like, are you guys stupid?
Also,
He's just gonna go take it. And everyone's like, shut up.
Thanos also has the camera. He didn't see Akhenaten monologuing?
Like, he
No,
probably
he did. That's how he knows
did.
they got to go find that power.
Yeah, and he's not gonna go back in time. A, he doesn't have
Yeah.
a time machine. B, that's not his plan. That's Doom's plan.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna find these things.
And he knows, but he also knows what Doom's plan is.
Oh.
So he's like, Doom's on the time travel plan.
Yeah. We're playing B,
Yeah, no.
or he's playing B and we're playing A.
It's
but
more like we're playing chess. Like,
Uh-huh.
he's playing that game and I'm playing this game. He thinks the time travel plan is going, I'm telling you it's not gonna work.
right.
I
We're
need
gonna. Our plan's gonna work.
Yes.
My plan.
Meanwhile, Namor and Hulk are two assholes, so they constantly bicker and fight with each other. That's just
Good.
It's just like, why did you bring them? And Thanos is like, because I need pawns. I need people who are dupable. Meanwhile, Silver Surfer, of course, doesn't trust Thanos because he knows better. And Doctor
Yeah.
Strange's like, we got to trust him because Thanos is a good guy now. And then he goes like, hey, by the way, Surfer, I know what you're thinking. And I think he's distracted enough that he won't listen to what we're talking about right now. I agree with you.
Right.
If we get near this power, you got to be extra vigilant because, like, I won't be able to stop him, but maybe you can because you have the power cosmic. Once we get to this power, you need to stop him from getting it, and then we'll come up with a plan.
But for right now, stop being
the-
an asshole.
yeah, but stop.
Who's gonna
blowing
get it, though?
We're not. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
It's,
So then Doom.
Dips. Sounds like I'm gonna be distracted fighting him.
Well, Doctor Strange becomes Lord Master.
That's
of the
what
universe.
I'm hearing here.
Well, shut
That's
up.
why Doctor Strange said dibs.
Silver Surfer did not come up with that plan either. So Doom activates the time platform. He ends up where he needs to be.
Yeah.
He kills a guard with his gun just to display how easy it is to
Right.
beat ancient
I
Egyptians.
am a god. Blam. See?
Literally that. He
I
goes,
shoot fire from a small
"Appendix."
device.
Fear
here.
me, make me your leader.
Yeah. So Doom stalks Akhenaten walking out to the Valley of Kings. So he goes out there and he's like, okie dokie, there he is, and he aims his gun, and then the gun explodes in his hands, and Akhenaten's there as a god. And
He's
like,
already a god.
What are you, an idiot? I can travel back in time. I'm here to protect myself so that I don't have this happen to me. You idiot. And then the aliens come and they kidnap Akhenaten, and then they start to fly away. And he's like,
Yeah,
you
the first
dumbass."
thing I did when I got this power was go back in time to protect myself so that I would always get it.
Yes. And you're like, damn it.
Good.
And this covers a lie.
That makes sense. Well, yes.
But yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right.
so Thanos
That
finds
covers not a lie.
Yeah.
Someone's supposed to go back and kill Akhenaten.
Yeah, this
it's
is-
not Doom because Doom has no face.
right.
Oh.
No, it's just cool.
Symbolic or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right?
So
yeah, but no, that
when
that's
Doom
fair.
saw himself in the bubble, that is what happened.
he never gets to the bubble.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's just
So it almost makes sense.
Right.
And you think it's going to make sense when you see him get stopped.
yes.
But no, it
But no.
actually still doesn't make sense.
So Thanos like, we're here, and so they get to this like crazy ass satellite in the middle of nowhere, and it is emanating power and energies from like every corner of where power and energy comes from in the Marvel universe. Like there's
Oh.
even a magic port. Or
Right.
magic energy shooting out.
It's a
I
piece
thought
of
it was
technology,
taking it
but
all
it's
in,
shooting
but never
magic.
mind. It's shooting it out.
Yeah, well, it's more like that's like the runoff. You know, like
Yeah.
the satellite itself is able to harness the technology. I'm sorry.
So-
the satellite is able to harness the power that was imbued in Akhenaten, right? So this is just like the energy runoff that's spewing out of it. But like the satellite itself has untold technology that's able to contain said power and siphon it off to different characters.
Are you telling me that the power runoff
Yeah.
is what creates all the powers inside the Marvel Universe?
I think it's more like when you contain it in order to alleviate the pressure, it like spews out different energies, and we have different ports for different energies.
Okay, because I was wondering, like, if that was the
Yeah,
case,
if it was siphoning out every like that'd be
not even
interesting.
siphoning. I'm talking about the fact that, like, if it was leaking it out, like, this was the origin of everyone's power. If this is where magic came
Oh.
from,
I mean,
if this
like-
is where, like, the power cosmic came
Yeah,
from.
that would be really cool. I don't think Starlin actually makes that claim. He just implies that like it takes everything to make everything.
Okay.
So you keep calling it a satellite?
Well, Thanos calls it a satellite. It's a
Yeah.
big spaceship.
It's not in orbit of something,
No,
though,
so
is
it's
it?
not technically a
So
satellite.
it's more
Well,
like a space station.
it
or
is
a
more like a
ship.
Planet
station.
back there.
Okay.
Yeah. It is orbiting different planets and stuff. But again,
I think those are just there.
Yeah.
Which one is it orbiting?
none of them.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's more of a probe.
It is a misnomer to say that it is a satellite. It's more of a probe or a space
he
station.
seems to call everything a satellite because he said that Thanos is in a
Thanos' craft is in a
satellite.
satellite
That's on
too,
a
yeah.
satellite.
No, it's not.
Satellite is specifically in orbit.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay.
Team Thanos stows aboard the not satellite,
Right.
and so Thanos is like, okay, everybody stay close to me, and Namor and Hulk are still bickering, and Doctor Strange is like, okay, Norrin, we're getting closer to the power. You better
Get ready.
get ready to jump on him. So
Ready to get him.
yeah, we're just gonna jump on him. Like, right? Like, what are you gonna do?
Dogpile on fucking Thanos.
Yeah. So
Get him, Silver Surfer.
So Zeus and Thor meet Infinity and Eternity, and they're like, "Hey, what up? This thing that we're dealing with is more powerful than us. I don't know what we're gonna do, but you better do it."
What?
You are gods, and we are celestials, but you'll handle it.
Yeah. Well, they're not technically celestials. They're celestial bodies, but they're better. They're higher up.
They're
than
higher
celestials.
Sorry.
than that. But
Forces
they're,
of the universe.
But
Yeah, well,
they're
if-
lesser than.
If there wasn't a race called Celestials, we would call them Celestials.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's where Zeus and Thor ended up.
Right.
So-
In outside
Yeah.
of the universe
Sure.
or whatever.
So we finally get a glimpse of these aliens that like wield this power.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
viewed Akhenaten, and they look like anything.
Yeah. They look like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, they look
Yeah.
like generic monsters.
We are bipedal, humanoid-looking objects, but kind of goopy.
But we
Yep.
do glow.
That's true.
That's how you know how
That's how you
powerful
know
we
how
are.
powerful we are. Yep. So then they go down the right corridor, and boom, there it is. The heart of the universe, which is the ultimate power in the universe. And Thanos is like, I knew it! Because Thanos has been monitoring every power, and he like suspected that there was like a god power in the universe called the heart of the universe. And so now his quest is at an end.
Right.
Meanwhile, a service drone comes up and is like, does anybody need any coffee? And Hulk's like, boo, a robot, punch! And they're like, no, Hulk, don't!
Hulk,
and that
don't
alerts
smash.
the big dumb aliens, which are like,
Yeah.
aha! And then Thanos goes, okay, well, that thing has god power, so I guess we're about to die. But if we're gonna die, then let's go down fighting. Everybody go fight that thing while I go try and steal the heart of the universe. So they do.
Is this thing as powerful as...
It's not as powerful as Akhenaten. Maybe it is, but it
Doesn't know how to use it as well.
It sullies itself to fight them.
Right.
But it does immediately dispatch characters that aren't immediately dispatchable, like Namor and Doctor Strange.
Okay.
But
not Hulk.
And by
Hulk
dispatch,
gets
do you
a
mean
punch
they're
in.
dead?
Hulk gets a punch in because Hulk is super powerful. Yeah, they're dead. Oh no, they're done. Thanos, meanwhile, is like, okay, I've got this. Everybody form a circle around me. And they're like, why? And he's like, so you can die and I can not be killed by these things faster.
You'll be my green turtle shells.
Yes. So literally that's what happens. And he goes, Marvel, do your thing. The universe is depending on you. And Marvel's like, what? And then Thanos just hauls ass away from him. And he's like, you dick. And then Thanos jumps into the heart of the universe. He didn't have the instrumentation that these other beings used to give Akhenaten his power.
Right.
So it should have torn him apart. But thankfully,
He's Thanos.
he's Thanos. And Thanos has safeguards and other devices on his person which allow him to wield it. And so he passes like through the heart of the universe and then ends up on the other side. And
He's changed.
The other dudes like who had the heart of the universe like kept away, they like disappear. And the Defenders are like, what? And then the satellite and they explode. And so Thanos is left in the like empty vacuum of space alone, and then realizes like, oh shit, I'm God now. So then he goes to the 18th dynasty where Doom is and Akhenaten is, and then Akhenaten's going to put Doom into the amber bubble.
Yeah.
And then Thanos shows up and goes, nah. And he grabs Akhenaten. And Akhenaten's like, no, this can't be. Like, this is my destiny. The aliens told me. And Thanos goes, I'll tell you what. I'm going to let your fate be decided by Dr. Doom, who I left in ancient Egypt. He didn't get the power. If he lets you leave in the alien spaceship and doesn't blow up the spaceship, I'll let you live. But if he kills you on this spaceship, that's the end of you. And Doom immediately shoots the spaceship and blows it up.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's a safe bet.
So then,
Well, if Doom blows up the spaceship, then he never becomes a god anyway, and so he should
yeah,
die. or
Right.
Yeah, but
disappear or
this isn't
whatever.
ripple effect.
no.
Yeah.
So then Doom blows up the spaceship, and Thanos turns the current incarnation of Akhenaten into a butterfly and sends him out into the universe. Then all the aliens that would eventually become glowing goop monsters, like that, like it's 10,000 years of evolution. They die because they can't harness the god power, but Thanos has it already, so nobody gets the god power, the heart of the universe, except for Thanos. And now Thanos is essentially, for all intents and purposes, God. But because that god power wasn't harnessed by the aliens and Akhenaten was never kidnapped, or was, but then they died, none of the things that he did in the last 3 issues matter and happened.
Okay, what?
So everyone gets to live. So everyone comes back to life.
No.
And like only a couple people remember that it happened. So that happened, right? So then Akhenaten isn't a character in the story anymore, and he doesn't matter in this anymore.
Why did the goop aliens not harness the power anymore?
Right?
Or is it because
they-
Thanos destroyed it by going into it?
No, Thanos possessed it in the future or the present.
Right.
And Dr. Doom,
And Doom
blows up the ship.
Yeah, blew up the ship in the past.
Oh.
But there's other aliens that are part of that race that were like building the satellite. That were,
Right.
Yeah, well, because of the actions of that and this, that results in the aliens failing in their attempt to harness the power in the first place.
There was a really important alien on that ship
Right.
who was going to help build the
Yeah,
thing.
he was like the
and-
safety inspector. And it didn't
Yeah.
work out.
But the
I see.
satellite blows up.
It doesn't matter. The point is that it blows up, and so they're out of the picture anymore.
Right.
The reason is because Starlin needed 6 issues instead of 3.
Yeah. Well, it's destroyed in the present, and in the past, their plans are upset by Doom blowing up.
Yes, and like
One
who
of
are
their
we to
ships.
question the order of the cosmos? The point is the resultant death of Akhenaten in the past resulted in the death of those aliens in the future and their inability to harness the heart of the universe. And because
Right, and
Thanos
so none of it
is
happens.
everything and everyone and all that ever is or ever will be, he gets to keep the power even though he never technically flew out into the heart of the universe in the first place.
Right. He gets to be outside of the time stream, but everyone else is still in it.
Exactly.
And what about Doom? Does he remember everything?
Right? We don't really see Doom anymore.
Okay, so he served his purpose.
He served his purpose, and now he's not here anymore.
Okay, so I guess he got reset along with everybody else.
Yeah, because the thing that set him on that quest in the first place was Akhenaten showing up.
You're right.
So everybody survives, and a couple people remember that it all happened, which includes all of the Universal powerhouses,
Okay.
who all convene because now they know that Thanos is the ultimate power in the universe.
Right.
Again.
And again, but now more so.
But now he doesn't have a thing you can take off of him to take it away.
Nope, he just has it within himself. So they have. So
I guess we'll blow up the heart of the universe.
they can't because there isn't one anymore. Thanos took
Yeah,
it.
it's inside his body or whatever.
Yeah, Thanos took the whole because they didn't use machines to siphon off power from it. Instead, Thanos possessed it. Now there's no place to go or thing to take.
Right.
And Thanos makes a point of saying, like, the Infinity Gauntlet gave me mastery of time, space, power, reality, and the mind, but that was external control. Now I have internal control. Now I am all of it.
I'm the user.
I could wield it, but now I am it. Like I am a mischievous child on the scroll homeworld. I'm a rock floating in space. I'm an ancient dinosaur in proto-Earth. I'm Spider-Man swinging around a building. I am a small insect being eaten by a spider. Like I'm the sun. I'm Jim Starlin writing the story. I'm an old lady dying. Like
Jesus.
I'm the space between wings. Isn't this deep? And so,
No.
because
Space
Thanos,
between wings?
like I'm everything. I'm everything. I'm breath.
Okay.
So because he is everything, he's going to get like some sort of perspective.
Is he gonna
and be
learn
like,
anything?
Oh, the world
Yes.
could just be.
He does get perspective. Because now everything is unveiled before him. He sees like the DNA of the universe itself, like the coding, the lifeblood, the space between spaces.
Oh,
now,
it's so beautiful.
What
Like
he doesn't do
quarks
is
and shit? Like quarks and shit?
deeper than quarks.
No,
Oh.
man, it's the poetry that Quarks write.
Yeah, he sees like the actual river that quarks make up. Like he doesn't see that like Jim Starlin made him and that he's the writer of the book.
Right.
But he does see.
Well, he did a second ago that we saw Jim Starlin.
He was Jim
Oh,
Starlin.
he was Jim Starlin.
But like he sees the coding of the universe and he realizes that like there's kind of like a balance to it and it's broken and the universe will be destroyed. That there's nothing he can do to stop the end of the universe.
Oh.
That there's something
Was
fundamentally
that
broken
his
about
fault
it.
or
No, it's not.
It's just was gonna
Really?
happen.
No, it's Wonder Man's fault.
What?
Because Wonder Man was the first superhero that Marvel resurrected after the no death clause was enacted.
What?
The idea here being that
Wonder Man broke everything.
you can't not die.
Right.
That once Wonder Man came back to life twice, everything was broken. That the universe, that there's balance, and that you need to pay for what you
right.
take.
And Marvel broke the
And
balance.
Marvel broke it by constantly resurrecting heroes. And they never like paid it forward by like killing anyone else off. Like there's no balance. And so as such, the universe is off balance. And it's like breaking a centrifuge and having it just completely go, and then it'll
right.
just destroy itself.
It'll just
yeah.
come apart. Yeah.
Exactly. So basically, you need for death to matter in the Marvel universe in order to fix the universe itself. The universe will be destroyed if we don't fix this problem.
All right, so that's like the metaphor. But
Yeah,
in the
it's an
universe,
existential crisis.
What's happening?
That is what is happening.
What is it about Wonder Man coming
Oh,
back to life that
it's just
like,
that like
F's
there
it
is
up?
that basically there is technically like a cosmic balance, and you need to fix it in order for like the DNA to work properly.
How did they explain how Wonder Man came back?
Oh, they explained it easily and with like with science.
Right.
But
here you
but-
say
but
that like
cosmically
that
speaking,
was also bad.
if you
like,
were God, you'd know how bad that was.
Well, you killed half the universe and then brought them back anyway.
Yeah,
Well, you didn't,
what
but
about-
they got
I didn't
brought
do
what about that?
But also, yeah, well,
All those
by
people
that,
came back.
By that point, it had all the damage was done.
Oh, that was before that.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that happened in like the 70s. So
Okay.
Thanos
What about-
is saying that like all of it, like.
What about the Clone Saga? Was that part of it? Was that?
He doesn't reference the Clone Saga, but like the
Okay.
idea here is that essentially after Wonder Man came back twice, all bets were off, and Marvel had a field day with Death and Resurrection, and that was like hurting the universe itself fundamentally.
So is there like a barrier or something that is like tearing?
Nope.
Is there a...
It's that there's something fundamentally broken with like within the source code of the universe itself.
Yeah, and you can't fix it.
You can't fix it. So it's and well, like, what are you gonna do now? You know, and like he doesn't go back in time and stop Wonder Man from dying or being resurrected, because that would change history, and also
Yeah.
like,
Also, time travel messes it up.
well, and it would take another couple of issues to explain that. So instead,
Right.
Thanos just like, whoa, like that's messed up. Meanwhile, so he's like, that's crazy. Like, I'm God, and the universe is gonna end, and there's nothing I can do about it. Like that's the existential crisis he is faced with now.
Right, like
Okay.
I could
Yeah.
fix anything, and
But
I can't fix this.
And it's not even my fault. So then he goes to like a planet and like sits down to chill and kind of like process it. And then Eternity shows up and he's like, "You're a dick. You shouldn't have the God power. I'm gonna punch you." And Thanos is like,
Not now.
"Shut up, Eternity."
Did you know about this, Eternity?
Right.
Did you know that the universe?
Yeah,
is
and
gonna
he's like,
end?
"No, but even if I did, like whatever." And anyway, I'm gonna punch you because like he basically Eternity doesn't have time to let Thanos explain the moral quandary he's in right
Eternity
now.
doesn't have time.
Well, because he's physically right here, right now, and he knows that he has to punch Thanos.
Right.
So he's like, "I'm gonna wreck you." So he just shoots Thanos with energy out of his
Punch him in the
face.
face with energy.
Yeah. So he destroys the planet Thanos is on, and Thanos is like, "So Eternity lashed out at me with righteous fury, but." And it was a spectacular display of celestial pyrotechnics, which of course had no effect on me.
Right.
So then he gets really big and he picks up Eternity and he's like, "Stop. You don't exist anymore. Poof." So he unmakes Eternity, but somehow the universe is still here. Then the Living Tribunal
makes no
shows up, and the Living Tribunal is like, "I've judged you, and you're unworthy of the power you have, so we're going to stop you." And then the Living Tribunal debuts every hero in the universe to fight Thanos, who is God, and literally Thanos made Eternity disappear. So, but it is a really cool quadruple page splash where Thanos is like, from the back, here are all the heroes, but from the front, here are all the other heroes. And you're like, so he's surrounded.
So you look around and they're all
Yeah, and it's
there.
like, whoa.
That is cool
If
looking.
ever there was augment reality for Marvel Comics, I'd like to see this, where you could literally just be like,
Yeah.
what?
They're just floating in space. Like, what are they gonna do?
Right. Well, they just appeared. Plus, like, look, it's Infinity and Ego, and oh my God, and oh look, Eternity's back for no reason. So, and then Thanos is so personally offended.
That the Living Tribunal would bring out all those heroes
No,
to punch
well,
him.
It's yes, but it's like he's so personally offended that they don't understand that he is God. Like, the universe granted me the heart of the universe. Like, I am God.
Okay, it's not like the heart of the universe chose you.
No, but like
No,
it
but
did
like-
because it let me get it.
Because I got there.
Yeah, like,
it's
but-
destiny or fate or whatever.
And also, like, you don't know who had it last. Like, I'm God, and you're gonna punch me? Like, for him, it's like, you wouldn't punch God. If I had a snowy white beard and a benevolent personality, you'd be like, right, it's all good. But because I'm purple and I was a dick a couple times, you're gonna
Yes.
punch me?
Yes.
Right. But he's like, no, but like, I'm God though now.
I am the thing that you should be revering.
So
Yes.
knock it off.
just
yes.
by getting it, I am therefore worthy of being respected.
Yes.
That's not how respect works.
Fuck you. So then he kills a Celestial, and they're all like, what? And he's so offended that he just absorbs everyone and everything into
He killed
him.
Eternity.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
In the last issue. So then he kills the Celestial, and they're like, whoa, this guy means business. And it's like, he killed the universe. Like, the physical embodiment of the universe. Like,
We should all be dead anyway.
you should be dead. I don't even understand how we're standing here. So then he literally absorbs everyone and everything in the universe and undoes the universe. Like, he kills everything and everyone in a, like, childlike temper tantrum.
So he Thanoses it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he justifies their actions. Now, their actions caused him to freak out, but really anyone offending him would have caused him to do it, so
Right.
really they were right.
Yes. Of
course
so
they were right.
What, he destroys the living tribunal?
Yeah. So Thanos unmakes everyone. He absorbs everyone and everything into himself, and he doesn't stop there. You know, he brings in the whole, so he's just left with utter blackness surrounding him. And then he feels like an asshole, and he's like, oh,
I should have done that.
man, I've literally destroyed the universe. And then a portal opens, and Adam Warlock comes out, and he's like,
Of course!
and he goes, what'd I miss?
Oh, I'm sorry I wasn't there to help.
I was in that space with the little girl and Gamora. So Warlock's like, hey, I was stepping out into something, and instead there's nothing. What's up?
What'd you do?
Yeah, and Thanos is like, oh man. And then it turns out that Adam Warlock is the person that Thanos has been narrating this whole book to the entire
Of course.
Ah.
Of course he
time.
is.
Of course it was!
Yeah. Now, what was that little girl doing when she was supposed to be shepherding the universe or whatever, and Thanos was
Oh, she's
killing
not
everyone?
shepherding it, she's just watching.
She was probably playing Cat's Cradle or something.
No, she's there to watch. She's like the better watcher because she actually doesn't interfere.
Yeah. So Thanos and Adam Warlock have a philosophical debate about whether Thanos should sacrifice himself
To put it all back.
reignite the universe and enforce a new rule of law in the universe
That
is
death matters.
Death matters, and you can't come back from death. And if I do that, that means that when I die, I won't be able to come back.
Huh. Now, he perceived that the universe was like unraveling or whatever.
Yeah.
And was going to destroy itself.
Yeah.
But then he destroyed it.
Yes. So
Was
now
him destroying it the
Thing that he saw?
The thing that he saw happening? Was
Right.
he the consequence
No,
of or was it going to happen some other way if he
it's-
hadn't had a tantrum?
it's more like it was going to happen no matter what.
When?
Whenever.
There is no
That-
answer.
That there, well, as Thanos has discovered, now that he has essentially caused the end of everything, there will be nothing, so he will be alone forever. So there's no point in having, ultimate power because he's just kind of like stuck there.
Right.
And the only way he can actually effectively matter again is by sacrificing himself to use the ultimate power to reignite the universe and bring it back into existence. But he won't exist in
With the new rule that you can't
come back from
come
death.
back from death.
But if he
Yes.
brings back the universe, eventually he'll just come back somehow as Thanos. He won't be a god anymore, but he'll just be back.
Right, except
Because the
he-
universe will
he
reignite.
can't.
He believes that, like, if he does that, because he's part of the creation itself, and because he's like a person with a personality who has like a beginning and an end, that like that will be the one exception to this reignited universe is that Thanos won't exist anymore.
Right, because he had to be outside of it creating it.
Yeah.
So he can't also be in
But
it.
this is why it has to be out of continuity, because if it were the case, then that means that Thanos never existed, and so any story with Thanos in it doesn't happen.
Right.
But that isn't the case because, of course, for Star-Lord it is in continuity, and those stories did happen, and of course, immediately following this, Thanos comes back. So, but it's a fun philosophical debate about whether or not, like, you should sacrifice yourself if you can never exist and no one will remember you.
It is
Right,
incredibly convoluted to say, I am God of the entire universe. I will destroy everything. But in order to recreate everything, I have to give up the power. Why? You're God.
Well,
Well, because that's what it takes to reignite everything.
because I looked at the power and I asked it how it worked, and that's how it worked.
So what did it take to destroy everything?
Well, it took the God power.
But it didn't leave him at that point.
Well, he sucked
No.
it all. He sucked everything into him.
Yeah, he didn't
so-
actually kill everything. He just brought it into
So
himself.
he
I mean,
can
it
can
is
resurrect it, I guess.
Right, 'cause it's all part
by
of him. It doesn't-
expelling it from him.
Well,
But then it'll be over there, and he's over here.
it'll take everything that is him to do it. So he'll be like shredded.
Not in a good way.
No. So anyway, Adam Warlock's like, well, I'll just go back in my room, so I'll remember you.
Oh.
And is that enough? And then it's like, no.
No, you suck. I hate
I
you.
hate
Why
you.
would I care about that?
And he goes, well, here's something interesting, Thanos. I'm not the only one who was spared by your wrath. And then Death appears.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Death is here too?
Yeah, Death escaped Thanos' wrath. Maybe Death was in the room with Adam Warlock, or maybe Death exists outside of all this, or maybe Death was within Thanos the whole time. Doesn't matter. The point is, Death is here too.
So Death was watching a little girl while Adam Warlock and Gamora were getting busy.
Technically, Death has to exist anyway, but yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because, like, Adam Warlock and Gamora will die even outside of the universe, so there needs to be a death in order to make that happen. So yeah. Anyway, so death is there, and Adam Warlock's like, you know, if you make this, basically Thanos has kind of made up his mind that he's going to do it. Mm-hmm. He's like, all right, and then Death shows up, and she forms into a beautiful woman, and she says thank you to Thanos, and Thanos is like, she talked to me directly. She never does that. She's never done that.
I'm changing my plan. I want to live.
But then she leans in and kisses him, and then leaves. It's like, this was the gesture that Death wanted from him all along.
Right.
Not killing the universe, although that was probably very impressive. It was the sacrifice.
Right. That he's
his own death.
willing to die.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okie dokie. Like, how ironic that my how ironic, Adam. But no, he's like, how ironic that like my destiny turned out to be a universal healer. And so then he expels the power, and then everything is as it was, only Thanos is dead. And that planet that he went to chill, which I'm convinced is the planet that he went to when he was thought dead in Infinity Gauntlet, and he became a gardener, his cowl is left there. The like little Thanos mask.
Yeah.
And Adam Warlock picks it up and he's like, good on you, Thanos. And then he leaves. And that's Marvel the end. It's like the end of the status quo that you know Marvel to be, which is that death is a revolving door.
Right.
But it's also not true and immediately is violated.
Pretty sure Mr. Marvel's still back. Marvel Man or whatever the hell his name is.
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel? No, he never...
Well, that was a different Captain Marvel.
That was a different Captain.
There's like 1,000 Captain Marvel.
Which was the one that
is
came back
this?
and broke it?
That was Wonder Man.
I'm sorry, Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonder
Man gets to come back one more time. But that's it,
Yeah,
though.
it's only the original Wonder Man before he died, right? That you get here. Or
No.
maybe he's not. Maybe he's gone.
It's no.
No,
he's
Wonder
not,
Man's back.
because the implication is that this is the current Marvel universe.
Okay, so I restored the Marvel Universe, including everyone who had already come back to
Yes,
life,
but
who'd already
now-
broken it.
Now, if
But
you die,
starting here,
Starting now,
you can't do that anymore.
don't die.
That's the horseshit that
Yes.
I don't get.
Yeah, I feel like it should go back to
Yeah, if
before
you're
you
reverting-
resurrect
that would-
anyone.
no, that would be the
Otherwise,
universe.
you're bringing back the thing that had effed up the universe already. Like, shouldn't the
Yes.
universe continue to follow
well,
the path
it's
it was
like-
on?
You're recreating the flaw in the universe and the
Yeah.
fact that it's going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
Yes, but now someone else made it. Like, you know, the last Guardian.
I
or
fixed
whoever-
the glitch.
I fixed the glitch, so we're not
went in
going
and
to resurrect from death anymore.
Yeah,
But
right.
everybody who did die and came back to life, you get one more. You get a pass.
Right.
Everybody gets a pass.
What was the point of this? Because Marvel wasn't going to be like, oh, well, because Jim said in this out of
Well,
continuity
Quesada
book.
said it, and Jim was like, "I've got it." And then Quesada then tried to
Oh,
walk it back in
right,
an interview where he was like,
right.
"Well, okay, so Jim got a little carried away, but like, I'm not saying that dead means dead. I'm just saying like I'm saying think dead means dead because you really, really want it to matter. You know,
It's
like
supposed to matter. You're the one not making it matter.
no. They made it. They made it not matter. I'm editor in chief now, so I'm saying if you're gonna kill somebody, you better be damn sure that it's a really good story or it has a really good, poignant thing, and that you don't want that character to come back like next week because I'm not gonna greenlight it unless it's a big character that we need money from. In which case, I will absolutely greenlight it.
Or unless it's a character that someone else created and then they'll bring it back in their own book because they'll be like, fuck you, I made this person.
But I'm editor in chief, so I should be able to have the oversight over that.
Right. Will you use it, though?
Yeah,
So how long does it last?
it's broken almost immediately.
By who?
I don't recall
Who breaks it?
I don't remember who the first person is resurrected, but I do know that it's like 2003. So like 3 years later in Civil War, they kill Bill Foster, Goliath, and he's still dead, I think.
Oh.
So you know,
okay.
and when they
But
kill
you said
someone,
they break it immediately.
But Thanos comes back.
but Thanos comes back in the next Jim Starlin story, which is like a
so
week
Jim
later.
Starlin breaks
So-
it?
Yeah.
So, good
Because
job,
he-
Joe. You were
Jim.
supposed to... No, I'm talking about
Oh,
Joe
Joe
Quesada.
Quesada,
Yeah,
yes.
You're supposed to monitor this shit and make
Yeah,
it matter.
you're supposed to tell Jim Starlin, no, you can't break Thanos back.
I
You
can't
you
tell
killed him.
Jim not to, telling Jim Starlin not to contradict himself is like telling a horse not to gallop gracefully through a field. It's like tell a chef not to make a delicious meal. It's just
impossible.
wrong. It's not done. It was just a guideline. It's just that Starlin's the one who was inspired to do a big stupid thing with it. about a pharaoh that no one cares about, that no one will
Right.
use.
So I can
only-
imagine Joe Quesada's like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be like, I was just trying to make people take death a little more seriously.
It may be why Quesada left it as the end book.
Right.
Because he's like, well, that way no one thinks it's actually in continuity.
It can't be in
Right.
continuity. It's the end book. It's entirely different.
Exactly.
I know you wanted
Because
it
you
to be
screwed
like
me
this
over,
whole,
Jim.
Yeah.
this whole
You
big
wanna do a
thing,
switcheroo?
but I'm not taking it that seriously.
I imagine
it's still over there.
Jim wrote it, and Joe's like, this is not what I asked for. But I still have to publish it because it's going to make us money.
Well, like, I paid him already to write it.
Right.
Like, I don't care if it makes us money. But yeah, so Marvel the End, or as it's later collected, I think they call it Thanos the End. Because it's like, oh no, it's the last Thanos
That
thing.
makes
a
a
lot
little
more
more
sense
sense
that way.
yeah.
But like, no, people won't click on Thanos the End. Gotcha. So, Marvel the End, it has some really fun ideas, I think.
Yeah.
Particularly, I glossed over it, but like if you do get a chance to read it, the conversation between Thanos and Adam Warlock, it's very Jim Starlin, and it's like, oh, but it's also kind of poignant. I remember feeling satisfied at the end of reading. I was like, oh, look,
When you
you're
said
saying something.
that they're just talking it out, my
Yeah.
initial reaction was to be upset. But then I'm like, no, this actually makes sense for these two characters.
You literally saw like every Marvel hero in the Omniverse, like because Spider-Man's alternate reality daughter, Spider-Girl, is in the fight. So it's like, oh, it's like everything shows up to fight. So like literally, you already saw your big silly slap fight with all the colorful characters.
And
Now
there was
it's
no
time-
fight. It's just that he wipes him out.
Yeah, well,
that's what he would do.
Because that's what happens when you fight God. So
Yeah.
now it's just like, how about these two cooler heads just have a conversation,
Yeah.
which I like.
I really wish Akhenaten wasn't a part of it.
Oh, he is
It's really
joke.
weird.
It's so
like
weird.
Really weird.
That's why I'm convinced he was like taking some kind of like learning annex course about ancient Egypt. He's like, that's neat. What do you mean there's no story about how he dies? And they're like, well, you know, there's a lot of people we don't know about what happens to them. Maybe aliens cherish the gods. There's alien connections with ancient Egypt and stuff. Well, yeah, but that's fake and stuff.
The Egyptians were all about resurrection or like life after death.
Yeah.
And what does it mean?
Right, and
what
like
is the
resurrection is
afterlife?
a theme in this story,
Yeah.
so why not, if you're going to use some, actual
No, but for
historical...
Yeah, but it's just so random and stupid.
Oh,
though.
yeah, and
It
it
wasn't
looks dumb.
resurrection. It was always an afterlife.
One random human to get picked up by aliens.
Just because he technically was a leader of many people at one point.
And who are these goop aliens that harness this power? Just
Yeah.
random aliens I never heard
Yeah,
of?
They
random
weren't goopy
aliens. They don't have a
before.
they don't have
Right.
a name.
No,
they
they
don't
don't
exist.
They call them star beings, but only because like they look like they're made
So
of stars.
what? They're just the ones who thought of it first
They're
to
the
like
ones
take
who
this power,
got who got
saw
there
it.
and built a machine around it.
or they were just physically close enough to see it.
Probably.
Oh,
I mean,
let's contain this thing and keep it forever.
Thanos is looking for it because he believes there's a power like that in the universe. But these
Right.
guys are probably like, what's that out there that we've been using as a sun for the first like 6,000 years of our
Right.
existence? Oh, it's the heart of the universe and the thing that makes us all exist. Let's go build a thing around it.
To protect it
Right.
from this guy named Thanos.
And then let's go to a planet that's a gazillion light years away and pluck one random dude in a diaper out of his element and then give him a portion of that power. Let's see what he does with it. And then 10,000 years later, it turns out he is an asshole about it.
He leaves and goes back to that planet.
Tries
like
to
they're
do
bad
exactly what he was doing
scientists.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they are.
This is just an experiment. We don't know what's going to
I
happen.
don't know. It'll just be neat.
Oh, look, he went back to his planet, and now he's being a dick.
Cool.
All right, that's what happens when
Good
you
thing
give,
we're all the way over here.
when you give humans power.
Yeah, except that like he's so powerful that he could destroy everything anyway. So anyway, that's Marvel the End. I mean, once in the
It's really two stories.
Y-
It's
yes.
really the Egypt story, which
Yeah.
is really unimportant,
yeah,
ultimately, and then the Thanos story,
which is the
matters.
actual story.
Yeah.
But it's actually interesting because you could, if it was in continuity, it would have a couple of meanings, right? Because it's Marvel the End, it kills all the Marvel characters. It's Marvel the End because the end of the universe, right? But also, it's fundamentally the end of Marvel if it's in continuity, because you've just betrayed that there's this stupid power in the universe that someone could physically grab and use and then be God. And that kind of breaks everything.
I hate
so it's
to
like
tell
the
you
end
this.
of everything. Not just Thanos, but everything.
Jim Starlin broke his own book.
Yeah, he did.
Jim Starlin said,
at least several,
death is supposed to
multiple
matter.
times.
Yeah.
Characters die in the book. At the end of the book, they're all brought back.
Yeah.
Well, would they
One
die?
more time.
Yeah. What does just the yeah.
Oh,
Only this
one
time.
more time, but this one more time means it.
Yeah.
Until I say one more time the next time,
Well,
and the next time.
I'm doing this book to make sure there are no more next times. But as long as I'm writing it, I'm going to take it.
This is the next time, Jim!
I'm the
He's
one
writing
who's
it,
making
yeah.
it the last time, so I'm going to do it as much as possible.
Right.
We got to get as many people coming back as we
Yeah.
can,
Well, and
because this is
maybe-
I
it.
killed everyone and I'm
He's
bringing
not a
them back.
dumbass, so like maybe what he's doing is he's trying to say, like, look at how stupid it is to
Right.
resurrect characters. Look, don't you feel like a jackass for
Like nothing
watching
matters?
characters die six
Yeah.
times in the same book?
If that's the point of the book, fine.
well, that's
I'm
the thing.
happy with
Yeah,
it.
but he's the original person who did that by killing half of them in
Infinity
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet.
Yeah. Yeah, but like that was a plot device. Like he's not doing it because it was a fundamental plot point of your cinematic universe. Like that was what what Feige did. Starlin was just like it was a display of Thanos' power. He does this, and then less than an issue later, they're all back.
And he was doing it to impress Death.
Yes. He's not doing it because he fundamentally believes that's how it should be. He's doing it as a gesture to try and get laid, which is way less impressive. So
Killed them, he brought them back.
Yes.
Now he's saying we're not going to bring
Well,
people back.
that was also like 10 years earlier,
Yeah.
and now he's working for this company, and they're saying we're trying to make a new go of it. So he's like, all right, I'm happy to do that for you. And they're like, don't do that. I don't want you to do that. Aren't you the guy who snapped away half the universe?
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't.
Trust
Right.
me this time. Trust me, it'll be
I
fine.
don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I have regrets. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I'm an enigma. Though, here's something else also interesting. Jim Starlin wrote A Death in the Family. He killed Jason Todd. So he's no stranger to the weight and gravity of killing a character.
Maybe Jim Starlin is just a bloodthirsty man who wants to kill, but like knows he'll get in trouble for it in the real world, so he just writes stories.
I
about
think
it.
it's more like he's telling fantastical stories about colorful people in tights, and death is a big thing to use that
Yeah.
that hammers home your point that like things matter.
Had Jason Todd come back to life
By this point, so it could be he's like mad. Could be like a commentary on being like, I killed Jason Todd, and
What
like,
are you doing?
like you brought him back. That sucks.
And Marvel's like,
Yeah.
don't take that out on
Yeah,
us.
no, and I
didn't
can
do
see
that,
Joe
man.
Quesada being like, dead means dead. He's like, yeah, that's right, dead means dead. Yeah, I'm gonna make it stick. That could
over
be
here,
to
we're gonna
show.
we're gonna
and-
reinforce.
Yeah, and then we're gonna outsell them, and they're gonna be like, "What's the problem? Well, why are we losing to Marvel again?" And it'll
well,
be
there's
like,
a fundamental flaw in your whole universe.
If you had the God power, you'd see that, like, it's broken.
You brought back Todd.
You brought back Jason Todd. That was where it all started. Maybe.
Maybe.
There's a lot of maybe in this, and I credit Starlin with the fortitude to be able to shoulder all of that. I think so. I think yes. I'll say yes. But anyway, that's Marvel the End.
It definitely looks cool.
Yes. Yes.
There's a lot of colors and stuff.
And that's all you want from a comic book anyway, right? So we'll see you guys next week on All New
Shove it in your face.
I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Thanks for watching.